Chapter 4. A Parisian, Italian, Iranian, and a dead guy. Over time, and after a bit of back and forth to Thailand, the addiction was starting to take hold now. I was starting to become part of a small community. A band of brothers, so to speak, with members from all over the world, who were all here for different reasons, yet we were all singing from the same hymn sheet. French Joe was a real slimy-looking twat. Some say character. I say twat. A small, tan Parisian with goggly eyes. He never smiled and was constantly on the lookout for who he'd recently screwed over in the past, and also on the hunt for his next victim. He was always up and down from bar to bar, arguing with the staff over the bill, over the girl, over the heat, you name it. He had, as the Thais would say, problème, a problem. Like a fly on shit, always jumping around from bar to bar, never settling in one place. I never liked him from the off, and rightly so, as my spider senses were bang on with this fucker. I called him Kermit the Cunt. Not just because he was French, had goggly eyes, and was a right cunt. It was, well, actually, that's exactly why I named him Kermit the Cunt. Italian Alex was becoming a good mate. One of the lads. It was strange. He was a bit like the runt of the litter. He had a bit of the victim about him, but we took him in. His English was pretty bad, but he somehow got our sense of humour, and banter-wise, he would certainly give as much as he got. Now, I don't know what personal demons he had. Like many in the land of smiles, he was here to forget his problems and not speak of them. That's the thing about Thailand. It's not like home where you unload all your troubles off on your mates. Here, you have a good crack and keep all that shit to yourself. Yet, you could see he was on the run from whatever his problems were. He ended up, surprise, surprise, falling in love with a Thai girl. A friend of mine. A good friend of mine. A good shag. That was it. He wasn't going back. Well, it doesn't take long for the money to dry up. Especially when you have a girlfriend, and even more so when she's not a bar girl. Doesn't want you for your money, and I take care of you because you have good heart. Yeah, they cost the most. Before long, it looks like he's next in line to join the Pattaya Flying Club. Me and Pete were helping him out with a bit of money here and there, but it soon got to the stage where it was a bit like he was taking the piss. So he said, Alex, mate, it's time to go home. He had a good trade as a tiler back in Milan and could earn a decent amount in a relatively short time. But no, his head had gone, and he would rather starve on the beach than go home and face his reality. How stupid could he be? Well, I know the answer. Very. French Joe. I have some good friends that may help with your Alex problem, no? He'd overheard me and Pete having a whinge about how to help him or get him back home. I replied, Go on, Kermit, what you got? I'm going to meet up with a friend of mine in Soi 8 later on, and he's always on the lookout for good, efficient couriers to deliver a little bit of chocolate to Europe from Nepal, eh? Nothing too crazy or dangerous, of course, and he could help with your Alex situation, no? I mean, he either gets the money or gets a little jail. Either way, he's out of your hands. Forever Kermit the Cunt. A cunt? Maybe, but at the time, he did seem to have the solution, and it was a better option than him ending up dead on the beach or joining the infamous flying club. So, Iranians. Iran. What the fuck did I know about them back then? The embassy siege thing in 1980 was the first I'd heard of the Iranians. I remember watching the embassy snooker final with my mum and dad. We only had 3 TV channels back then, so the snooker final was a big family event. The next thing, a newsflash came on, and the SES was storming the place like real-life action men. Abseiling down the front of a big white building and throwing hand grenades all over the show. So apart from all the hostage situation type news, I knew very little of the Iranians, and to be brutally honest, just had them all down as Middle Eastern, don't trust these fuckers Arab types. A very naive and media-fed view, but I'm simply and sadly recalling how I thought of them back then. What I did know was that I wanted F all to do with them, because it was never going to end well. Fuck this, Pete, I told him. You're doing well with the flights, and I've got a good job back in the UK. Let's not get involved in any of this bollocks. It's okay smuggling the cigs, steads and Viagra, but this chocolate, cannabis, yes, I did have to ask, is on a very different level. To me, cannabis, heroin, coke and ecstasy were all in that same league of 100 years plus, hanging from a rope. I wanted naught to do with it. But Pete, being more used to the lifestyle of dodgy drug deals, wasn't fazed at all, or he didn't show it. Those are those sliding doors moments, the go left, the go right moments. Those moments in life where one split-second decision can affect the rest of your entire life. I went left to the full moon boy where I could be. I can still only describe it as you get the drift. And Pete went right to meet the Iranians. I finished my holiday and went back to the cold, rain, bricks, blocks, mortar, bosses and dossers. The harsh reality of working my balls off to get back to the heat, bliss, giggling my tits off, and don't give a fuck. And oh yeah, shagging. As far from reality as possible. So on my return, I heard that Alex was okay. His chocolate run was a success. He got through no problem and had also got his shit together. One or two others had done it too and said it really was a piece of piss. They had it all sussed at Kathmandu airport because apparently some guys on the inside would get it through. 100%. Bollocks. You can't beat the good old 100%. And even if you get caught in Europe, it's only a slap on the wrist. I was still far from convinced. I was with Walshy, who was my best mate from back home, and Curtis, who was a nice, quiet, respectable lad from Australia in his late 20s. We were sat chatting about all this drug-running scenario, and we're saying how you must be fucking nuts to do that, when Curtis said quite casually, "I'm thinking of having a go." What? Fuck that, mate. Don't be an idiot. Why, for fuck's sakes? I mean, the lad was far from dumb. In fact, he had a good education and had a well-paid bank job back in Sydney. He wasn't there to escape his past. He had no ex-wife or girlfriend dramas to use as an excuse like some dickheads do. So why? I'll tell you why. He loves smoking that bloody stuff. He'd stay in his room for days on end getting high as a kite with his Thai Japanese hooker girl he had on the go. She was basically a geisha who worked for the accuser at the karaoke bar. She was very seductive and came complete with a dragon tattoo from tit to toe. Me and Walshy on this very rare occasion acted as the voice of reason. I tried my utmost to talk him out of it. Just because these other bellends get away with it doesn't mean that you will. Odds on, sooner or later, someone will get caught, and that could be you daft twat. I told him then it could be a setup for a fall, where you get caught and they get through. We've all heard of that old one. Knowing what I know now, I highly doubt it that it's a common thing. I mean, think about it. There's plenty of ways to get through without losing a load or a carrier, and I'm 100% sure it never happened in our little setup. So, he took our wise words of wisdom on board, as well as himself on board the next bloody plane to Kathmandu. As me and Walshy were flying back home together the next week, I was checking the flight path and I nudged him, pointing to the screen at Kathmandu, and he just said, "Kathmandu don't do." I replied, "Fuck that for a game of drug mules." On my next trip back, I met up with Curtis, and as much as I tried to talk him out of it, I was eager to hear his story. He told me how he'd almost gone tits up at departures in the airport. So this was the plan. Normally, luggage would have to go through the scanners, but his suitcase already had the Bean Scan tag on it, and that was covered by a peel-off strip which was the same colour as the suitcase, so that no one could see it. Then, the guy on the inside would take the suitcase to the toilets and remove the strip to reveal the Bean Scan tag. Ta-da! So, because it would never be scanned, they could cram it full of cannabis. About 5 to 6 kilograms of the stuff. No need for secret compartments and all that bollocks. What about when they land, I hear you cry? Fear not, dear reader, they have this all in hand. The head honcho of the Iranian organisation was Abi. He controlled everyone and everything and would select which flights were to be booked with the now, of course, 100% knowledge that there would be no customs at the other end. Genius! What could possibly go wrong? The night before, Curtis said he had a very strange lucid dream, or maybe something even weirder. Spiritual? A warning from the grave? Now, I don't believe in any of that ghost or medium stuff, but what's important here is he did, and that's all that counts. He was laid there on the bed going through it all, stoned of course, in an attempt to get some well-needed sleep for the long stressful day to come. Then, the figure of an old man appeared and sat at the end of his bed, and oddly, this didn't scare him. It was his granddad that had passed on earlier that year. "Don't do it, lad. Please, Curtis, don't go. The wrong man will come to you. Don't go to the man in red with the beard. Please, Curtis, don't go. Your mother couldn't take the loss. Do not go." Over and over, different versions of the same warning. Curtis woke with a bolt and a sharp intake of breath. Jeez, what the bloody hell? Was that a dream? Was he that stoned? Or was it truly an apparition? Whatever it was, it freaked him the fuck out. So, after showering, and of course a good old wake and bake, he attempted to think it through logically. As cool and nonchalant as he was attempted to appear, on the inside he was a nervous wreck. He was well aware how fucking ridiculous this whole thing was. Of course he's going to have bad dreams. He loved his granddad to bits, and the shame of him knowing what he was up to would have been heartbreaking, not to mention his mum and dad, and the rest of his well-respected family back home in Sydney. This was just his subconscious giving him a tap on the shoulder. Of course it was a dream. One last joint and off to the airport, feeling way more confident in the light of day. The guy he was to meet would come to him at the middle entrance. Curtis was a 6'4" blonde lad who stood out like a sore thumb. And so, at bang on the time that was arranged, Curtis felt a tap from behind in a man's voice. Hey mister, I take your bag. I take good care." As he turned round, the sickness hit him like a ton of bricks. A small bearded man wearing a Liverpool t-shirt already had a hand on his bag. "Please, good sir, I take care." Amongst all this chaos, he thought fast and acted on instinct. I mean, a bearded man in a red shirt. Half the buggers have beards, and they're nearly always wearing either a United or a Liverpool shirt. Maybe that's why he subliminally dreamt it up. I mean, the odds of a beard and a red shirt are pretty good when you look at it like that, eh? "Are you a friend of Abby?" Curtis asked. Yes, okay, sir, very good." "You been sent to pick me up?" Yes, no problem, sir." As Curtis was sussing out if this was the right bloke, he literally snatched the suitcase out of his hand and was off, confidently saying, "Follow me, good sir," heading straight towards the baggage scanning x-ray machine. At this point, Curtis came up with a good old plan of fucking leg it. Without looking back, he marched out and grabbed a taxi to the city to get back to the one place he felt safe, the hotel. He was so paranoid that all the feds were onto him that he zigzagged in and out of all the streets, trying to lose any potential tails. He was full on living in the movie The French Connection, trying desperately to escape, whilst all the time trying to blend in. All 6'4" of him. Back at the hotel, Abby was sat in the foyer drinking coffee, absolutely gobsmacked as to why Curtis was back so soon. "Oh shit, what has happened?" Curtis was in a whole world of hurt. Whilst trying to explain to Abby what had happened, he was wondering if Abby was a Jekyll and Hyde type and would suddenly go off on one, thinking Curtis had bottled it and totally fucked things up. All the while, Abby was on the phone to the guy on the inside. Yes. And the bag? Okay. Failed. "So, you want to know what happened?" Curtis fucking does. So here it is. The airport in Kathmandu is just full of people trying to make a quick buck. They are watching everyone and everything, trying to seize on an opportunity to make some money. The guy on the inside saw everything. As he was walking over to Curtis to pick up the case, a Johnny-on-the-spot baggage handler looking for a tip swooped and took the case off Curtis to take it to customs. 'Cause that's where the cases go, right? This guy had a beard and a red top. Grandad? Curtis goes into full-on leg-it mode, which in retrospect was exactly the right thing to do. Abby saw this, and also recognising Curtis that he had the look and demeanour to be a good courier. He tells Curtis, "Don't worry, it's not a big problem. Some days the pigeon, some days the statue. You enjoy the rest of your holiday. Go trekking, see Everest. You should be out whitewater rafting. Don't worry. Go and see this beautiful country." So all the while Curtis is thinking he's totally fucking blown it, Abby is thinking of bigger things. Japan.